I knew you were going to do the alarm too.
Means, Jason? Well, the fans wanted it.
Yeah, I saw in the comment section multiple comments in the past a few weeks that the alarm sound was going to go off.
Because it's better than your quail sounding alarm.
Well, at least it was louder than that, but people won't get that. They won't get that again.
So we are here in New York, as you guys can probably tell from our studio here. We are so happy to be here and so happy to have the opportunity to be here through Squarespace, right?
Yes, and this episode is brought to you by Squarespace. Start by building your website today with a free trial at squarespace.com/TYT. Squarespace, build it beautiful.
Now let's get to what else is beautiful.
I thought you were going to say let's talk tactics, but this isn't
Not tactics, but we could talk tactics later on about some of the potential transfers and how they'll mix things up. So I'm going to start off by one of the most prominent stories in all the headlines. So make sure, fans out there, if you're looking at these stories, make sure to check your source. Like the Independent, very formal article is a good source to go to, and they are talking about Sergio Ramos, who has recently has had somewhat of a backlash at Real Madrid for some of the comments that he's made. I think people are saying his future's reliant on Perez. We know about Perez. We know how he likes to control things at Real Madrid. I think Ramos has had enough, and there was talks of him being included in a transfer deal to bring De Gea to Real Madrid and send Ramos back the way. It's a little contradictory because I think that Manchester United want to add defenders, but they don't want to get rid of their star goalkeeper.
It seems like a constant carousel of players because this first started with De Gea going to Real Madrid for Karim Benzema.
Yeah.
And now just replace Benzema, put in
As
Ramos.
Rihanna started dating Benzema, like, nah.
No, we don't want him. We don't want him anymore.
No,
but how, I guess, plausible is this to happen, and how does it work? I guess it's not like a sign and trade. That kind of happens a lot in the NBA, at least America here. But in Premier League, from league to league, can you do that sort of thing, or is it more like a mutual agreement? Like, we're going to give you this for X amount of money, and you're going to take that for X amount of money.
Yeah, well, it really depends because it depends on who they value to be the most. So right now, it's really hard to tell because Sergio Ramos, yes, he's a good defender, but I don't know. I would value De Gea more than him at the moment, just based on how good De Gea is in his position and how much Real Madrid need him. Even though Manchester United could definitely do with someone like Ramos. So I think that for me, what I imagine the details are not released yet because it's still not being pushed through, is that Real Madrid would offer Ramos to lower the fee. So maybe like 9 million plus Ramos, 4 million plus Ramos, whatever they feel fit. And Ramos seems to be open to it because Manchester United could foot his £140,000 a week.
Both these teams can foot the wage.
Yeah, they could foot the wage bill, but that's not the talking. Is just basically on how much Ramos is willing to go to Manchester United or whether he's just threatening Real Madrid. So aside from that, other big transfer that's imminent according to Sky Sports, Petr Cech heading to Arsenal. Great signing for Arsenal for me. They've had some problems going between goalkeepers. They've had Ospina, they've had Chesney going through his issues, and Petr Cech's a very, very consistent goalkeeper. He hasn't played for a season. Let's note that he's played very sparingly. He was used very sparingly in his last season with Chelsea because Courtois.
So how's his fitness then?
That's what you got to think about. But if there's one thing you can try and bring to light, I think it's a goalkeeper's fitness. I think that's very easily adjustable. I'm not saying it's easy. Goalkeepers don't have to be
compared to a center midfielder who needs to run 10 kilometers a day or however many miles that is, because they don't give me that stat. They just tell me how many kilometers it is.
Yeah, and you can't transfer that.
I cannot. Although the metric system makes more sense. I have that American mentality where I believe miles is just makes
better.
more. I don't know where we're going with this. It just makes more sense to me, not to the rest of the fucking world.
10.9 million is the transfer apparently that's been given to Chelsea for Petr Cech. Not a bad.
Seems like a steal.
It's not a bad amount of pocket change for a goalkeeper.
I shouldn't say steal. It seems a lot less than like the $80 million or pounds that the Pogbas of the world are signing for.
Talking about Pogba. Great transition. Paul Pogba. An article that I'm going to take with a pinch of salt. See the salt? I'm pinching it. I'm taking the pinch of salt.
I don't think that's what that
That's
means.
what it is. I'm pinching the salt. Pinched. This is what I mean because Pogba, the Daily Star has said that he has outrageous wage demands that his agent has portrayed to both Chelsea and Barcelona if they want his signature. And this is a little worrying for Juventus fans because not only is Carlos Tevez declared that he's gone back to Boca Juniors, Paul Pogba now their star midfielder, their talent that is going to play for many more years to come amongst somewhat of the Asian midfielders like Pirlo's of the world. They want to hold on to him, but if he's holding talks with his agent about his wage demands, it seems to me that's a red flag. It seems to me that they want to use the Francis Maxwell warning sign to send around their club that Paul Pogba might be heading out.
But I want more money.
Maybe he wants more money, or he's going to head out because apparently he wants £7 million a year net, which isn't that bad. £7 million, which is like $16 million a year, and he wants his agent to get a percentage of his sell-on fee. And someone else has been involved. He wants 2 representatives.
He wants his agent to do it, or his agent wants his agent to do it?
This is coming from Pogba, meaning, hey, Paul, if you move on for like 85 million, I want some of that money. I want a little bit of that change. So that's what happens in the football world. The agents control a lot of it. It depends on the relationship between the player and the agent. So Pogba wants to head on. That's what the rumours say. It's hard to take that at the moment from a source
Why
like the Daily
leave
Star,
Juventus? You just runner-up in the Champions League. Not like you can't get back there next
Who beat
season.
them?
Barcelona.
And who wants him?
And who wants it? Barcelona.
Well, there you go. I mean,
Well, see, that adds up, but I have no answer to that because why wouldn't you want to play for Barcelona?
If someone like Pogba, but you got to think about it. What Pogba reminds me a lot of is Yaya Toure in his prime, and Yaya Toure in his prime was good for Barcelona, but wanted to leave for some reason because players that are that athletic and they're gifted sometimes don't fit into that tiki-taka style of football as easy as the bigger players. Like Song is another player who played with Arsenal, went to Barcelona, he was used sparingly, and he just didn't seem to fit in as well. But Pogba, I think, could fit into any team.
So, like, fit in, meaning
Stand out.
style of play. No, I'm not being like, I'm not making the joke. I'm saying like fit in more like the style of play.
Yes, style of play.
Specific to that, because obviously Serie A, La Liga, and Premier League have different styles of play, but they're all fast-paced in a way, at least compared to that of the MLS when we're doing coverage about it here. But in terms of like that style of play, why wouldn't Pogba fit in with a Barcelona?
Maybe because his style of play is he's very quick on the counter-attack. He's a good player to go to hold the ball up in the midfield as well and spread passes. They already have someone like Iniesta. They have guys like Rakitic who thread the passes through. When you look at Juventus' midfield, Pirlo, Marquisio, Vidal, they're all hard-working guys, and they try to get Paul Pogba the ball in the attacking third and use his strength to push forward. And he can then basically lead attacks as well. As much as you might not be on the ball as much, he's very useful at taking defenders away and taking midfielders to focus on him. When you look at Barcelona, he would fit in, trust me, but I think he would fit in better at a team like Chelsea, who are very similar to Juventus. And if they put him in there with a Fabregas and a Matic, he has Matic to sit deep, he has Fabregas to link up play, and he can take their attack forward, and he's got the athleticism to fit into Chelsea style of play. So that's my 2 cents on it. Take it or leave it. Taking it?
Take your 2 cents.
All right, thanks.
Take them.
So, and then the final done deals that we can talk about is Atletico Madrid and Juventus waste no time in replacing who they leave. So Mandzucic heads to Juventus because Tevez is heading to Boca Juniors. Jackson Martinez is heading to Atletico to replace Mandzucic. Who replaced Tevez?
Who's replacing Jackson Martinez?
Who's... I'm confused.
Stumped. You're stumped.
Yeah, I'm stumped.
We don't know who's replacing Jackson Martinez.
Yeah, but
we
we can
also
say-
don't really care.
What we can say is that both Juventus manager and Diego Simeone are very quick to try and replace players. Simeone was very quick in last year's transfer market when Diego Costa left, quick to bring in Mandzucic because he had to replace his star striker that left. Same with when, what's that guy's name again? The guy with the long hair who used to be good. Oh, Falcao, yeah. When he left and tried to bring someone else on.
We talked about how Jose Mourinho's going to change him.
Yes,
or bring him back
see.
to form. But
he needs to, because in the Copa America he's just had nothing really. But well, I mean, it's a lot of things going on in the transfer market. We're still early. We're still in June. Once it gets to more July and August,
there'll be more alarms.
There's plenty more alarms to come, and in there, a nice smaller New York setting, our alarm echoes well.
Yeah, actually, you might
And
hear alarms going off
might hear
on the
going out.
street.
But we want to know what you guys think. As always, we want to know what the fans think of these transfers. How do you think Juventus will play? Will they go to a 4-3-3 now with Mandzucic up top, maybe parting Morata, bringing someone else new? What do you guys think about that? Make sure to head over to squarespace.com/TYT and start your free trial today and get 10% off your first purchase. Squarespace, build it beautiful.